3, 2, 1. And we are live. Hello, humans for Noah. Welcome aboard for another adventure, another journey as we explore the Torah to learn wisdom for humanity. Say hello to our human beings here. Humans. Everyone's human except one alien. I'm just kidding. Who is watching us online? Let me know if you're coming back for a second week. Let me know if this is your first time. Where are you watching from? And welcome aboard. Yes, we have a great program. So we are learning about the 7 laws of Noah. And we work a little bit off this book called The Divine Code. But we also look into the Torah. And the question is, what does the Torah teach humanity? That's the kind of stuff we talk about. So if you're a human, this class is for you. Let's see. 2 weeks, second week from Baltimore. Hello, Donna. Welcome aboard. Michigan, first time. Okay. First time, Florida. All right. I now have to make a good impression. You know what I mean? First time. It's like, second time, okay, to give you a chance. First time, this is it, man. Woo! All right. So there were 2 kids, and every single time there was trouble in the school, these 2 brothers, they were probably responsible. If somebody pulled the smoke detector, it was them. If somebody, spray painted the wall in the school, it was them. They were trouble. Anyway, one of the kids got into trouble. The principal pulled the kid out of the class and towered over the child, and in a loud, stern voice said, "Where is God? Where is God?" And the boy was frightened. He was terrified. And he ran out of the school, and he ran all the way home, and he went straight to his bedroom, and he slammed the door. And his brother, who was there playing hooky, said, "Hey, bro, what happened?" He says, "You won't believe it. God's missing, and they think we did it." So I think a good question that we have to ask the world is, where is God? I mean, for the love of God, where is God? We live in a world with so much hate and so much, fighting and jealousy. Where is God? And I was talking a little bit, I was posting my videos, as I always do, about, how we have to learn from the Torah to be inspired. And one person sent me a following message and said, "I don't need the Torah to be a good person." Oh, because I said, according to Judaism, you don't need to convert to Judaism. You just have to be a good person and follow the 7 laws of Noah. So the person messaged me and says, "I don't need any kind of religion or God or doctrine to tell me how to be a good person. I could be a good person without it." And I thought it was a very interesting question, because a lot of people, they're sort of burnt from religion. Fine. But I think that there's a mistake when people say that they don't need anyone to know how to be a good person. Because here's the problem with morality. If morality is subjective, then everyone has a different definition of what morality is. Everyone could define it their way. There needs to be an objective morality. And that's what the 7 Noahide laws does. Or you could say this 10 commandments, that's what it does. It basically says, "Thou shalt not steal because God said so. Thou shalt not kill because God said so." Not because it makes sense to me today, but tomorrow something else makes sense. It's interesting. They say that a lot of the SS guards for during the Holocaust, they went to church on Sundays. How's that possible? How do you shove thousands of people into a gas chamber Monday through Thursday, or Saturday, and then on Sunday go to a church and talk to God? So the answer is they believe thou shalt not kill. They believe that. But they tweaked it. They said thou shalt not kill, but the Jewish person is not considered to be human. So, that's an exception. That's when you have a morality based on human intellect. There needs to be an objective morality that is above human understanding, that we don't mess with. It's because God said. And so that was my response. Anyway, who's with us? Who joined us? Where are you watching from? We want to know where everyone's from. I see we have people from Baltimore, from Florida. Where else? Don't be shy. And by the way, you could throw your questions in here. I'll try my best to answer them. And like I always say, if I don't know the answer, I'll just make something up. Yeah. Anyway, and also the questions could appear on. So I'm on Instagram here. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch over here. Twitch is a gaming app. Somehow I'm like a gamer now. What can I say? A streaming gamer. Yeah, Twitch is but yeah, that's what your eye does.
They make a game app called Rabbi Raps.
Yeah, Rabbi Raps. Hold on tight. Thank you from Houston, Texas, York, Pennsylvania, Tampa area, Portugal. We have someone from Portugal here. Isn't that cool? Central New York. Oh, wow. Hey, guys, welcome aboard. Okay, so someone just logged on Twitch. There it is. Hey, Twitch person. What kind of game am I playing? Life is kind of a game, you know what I mean? So I'm getting a lot of hate online, a lot of anti-Semitic comments, and I think there's sort of like a place on the internet they all get their information from, which is mainly lies. It's just not true. Yeah, a bunch of uneducated people getting more uneducated. One of the more, so there's these things they constantly say. And one of the things that keeps popping up is 109 countries. And I just see that line over and over again. And basically, I've seen it enough times to know the context. They're saying, well, if Jewish people were kicked out of 109 countries, so 109 countries aren't wrong, there must be a problem with you. You must be a problem. That's the claim. So I was thinking about it, and here's my response. It's not 109 countries. It's much, much more than that. So I don't know where they got the number 109 from. There's a lot more countries than 109 that have kicked the Jews out throughout history. But my response is as follows. Throughout history and today, there has been a war in the world, a battle between light and dark, good and bad. And if you want to know which side the Jewish people are on, it's very simple. You simply have to look at who the enemies were. Who kicked them out? Who tried to obliterate them? The Nazis, Stalin, Hamas, Ahmadinejad, ISIS. Just go down the list throughout history, all those that try to eradicate the Jewish people. And basically, if you know who they are, you know which side the Jewish people have been on. And so throughout history, there is a war, there's a battle in the world between light and darkness, good and bad. And we have been on the side of light, and that's why we've been kicked out of 109 countries. And all along the way, there have been upstanding, good human beings that knew the difference between good and bad, between light and dark. And these are people who believe in and appreciate the 7 Noahide laws. They understand there's a God, there's a morality, and there's basic human principles that cannot be negotiated. And so anyway, that's my thought. It's a lot more than 109 countries.
That's a good answer.
What? Yeah. It's the truth.
They're not educated.
No.
It's a shame.
Right. So I wanted to speak about a couple interesting things. By the way, I typed up a bunch of notes, and then with my ADHD, confirmed and diagnosed at the age of 42, I left it at the synagogue, but I have it here, so I'm going to share it with you. We got some more people joined us. Welcome aboard. Many of the responses could be, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you said that to. Okay, so, the story of Noah, look at the book, right? The Divine Code. So this is a code of Jewish law for people that are not Jewish, how to live a life like a Noahide. There's 7 laws, but it's really like almost 100 laws, so there's a lot here. But of course, the imagery is the rainbow. So the story of Noah, Noah's Ark. Noah is the only righteous man in his time, and the world is corrupt. And Noah's not Jewish, so he is the model human being. Somebody that the world could be very dark, but that person says, no, I have values, and I follow a higher calling. And that's who Noah is, and we all aspire to be like Noah. But after the flood, God promises Noah that he will never destroy the world again. And the symbol is, there's the picture of the rainbow. The rainbow is the symbol. So what's the Kabbalah of the rainbow? Like, why the rainbow? I mean...
Light on both ends.
What?
Light on both ends.
Light on both ends. Okay. So it's definitely a symbol of light, because what a rainbow is a refraction of light. The droplets in the atmosphere refract the light, causing it to split all the colors, creating a gorgeous rainbow.
Well, after every rain, it reminds you of the rainbow, because you see a rainbow somewhere.
After the rain, you see rainbows many times. Now, it's interesting that the rainbow, according to the Bible, the Torah, is kind of like almost not a good sign. We see a rainbow and we're like, smile, but like it's kind of on the surface, at least, a bad sign, because God says I was going to destroy the world, but I changed my mind. Here's a rainbow.
That's the covenant with us.
Right, that's the covenant with humanity. What's that?
The world's a mess and you're still in.
Right. So we look at a rainbow and we're like, oh, it's so pretty. But like some people who study the Torah look at a rainbow, they're like, oh no, it was that close. I don't translate it that way personally. I like to look at it in the positive light. God says, yeah, you guys sort of messed up, but I love you I love you nonetheless. So maybe the rainbow is a sign of God's love for humanity, even though we mess up sometimes. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. But there's something interesting in the Torah and the Bible. Whenever it tells all the stories of Adam, of Eve, of Cain, of Abel, and all those people up to Noah, they all seem to live like 1,000 years,
Right.
hundreds of years, right? Noah, I think he lives 930. Did I get that right? I think so. 930 years.
I'm going to get to at least 330.
You're going to get to 330 years. Well, you may, because according to recent reports, AI is now involved in medicine, and they're saying that people that could make it through the next 5 years will probably live the longest in history.
But I'm going to get to 65, still retired.
All right, but I'm in trouble because if they eradicate Social Security, I'm not living anytime.
You're saying if they eradicate Social Security.
Right.
With AI, you're not going to need Social Security because you don't need doctors. You're just going to have little robots healing everyone. All right, that's my prediction. But anyway, Noah's Ark is about a world in a boat. Yeah, that's right. By the way, one of the T-shirts we want to make for our group is all aboard. Humans for Noah, all aboard, right? Bon voyage.
Wait, be around the island soon.
Next time,
So it's an interesting thing. So you see like people living hundreds of years. Noah lives hundreds of years. And then right after the flood, you read about Noah's 70 descendants, and that's a symbol for the 70 nations of the world, the 70 languages, 70 soul systems, fine. And then there's idol worship returns to the world, and then Abraham is born, and he lives his life, and he finds God again, and he once again teaches the world about God. Abraham doesn't only teach Jewish people, he teaches non-Jewish people about the 7 laws of Noah. He brings it back. And then it says that Abraham was 99, and he was old. And it says, and Sarah was 90 and she was old. What are you talking about? 99 is a spring chicken in the times of Noah. 99, you're like, didn't even get your driver's license yet. 99, you can't even drink. Like Noah lived hundreds of years, the people in Noah's time.
620, wasn't it?
I think it was 9:30, Noah.
Every time the number changes.
No.
First it was 7:26. Now we're up to what, 9:07?
9:30. You keep changing it. I didn't change it.
How did you pick 3:30?
Yeah.
For me.
Yes.
Well, you said after no one was gonna live until more than 100.
Well, they started having children at 90.
I don't know exactly when they had children, but apparently they lived for a very, very long time, you know?
They were giants.
When we talk of, okay, very good. So that's something else. According to the Bible, Noah was 950 years when he died. I was off, maybe, but that's what AI says. You can't trust AI.
It's in the Torah.
I thought it was 930, but you know what? I could make mistakes because I'm not AI. Yeah. 950. I think, no, oh, you know who it was? It was Adam. It was Adam Adam was 930. Yeah, not Noah.
720, 680, something.
No, 950. 950. But it was, yeah. But,
I'll have to go back and ask Hashem myself.
and the Torah says there's these giants, like very large human beings at the same, you know. Okay. So the Kabbalah explains that when God originally created the world, he created it with a lot of light, with a lot of generosity, a lot of chesed. And apparently it wasn't the best idea. If someone's going to live 1,000 years, so when are you going to repent? When are you going to become a better person? You say, I'm only 600 years old. I got 400 years to go. You know, I'll worry about it in the next 200-300 years. I'll worry about becoming a better person. Hey guys, welcome.
We're super late.
What's going on? You're coming Jewish time now?
I know.
I'm the one who comes late, not you.
I know. I got the, I do have the Jewish,
I'm cold.
Yeah, it's warming up slowly. It's warming up slowly in here. All right.
Sorry. My fault.
I caught it, I was like,
Oh.
it's a 7:27, like, let's go.
I thought it was 7:30.
We gotta put the rainbow outside with the light so you know it's open.
Yes. So you have this idea of a lot of generosity before the flood. After the flood, God sort of decides with humanity, you give them too many years, they go corrupt. So he says, let's make this thing a little shorter.
It's not fair.
I know, but they had a chance. You know, they messed it up for us. They had a chance.
So
Yeah.
that's what the rainbow means.
So the
120 years,
rainbow is actually.
instead of 1,000 years.
I didn't get to the. Oh, you're saying it's not a full circle. Okay. I didn't get to the Kabbalah of the rainbow, and so apparently, if there was no rainbow, what happened when light would shine on a cloud before the story of the flood? So now we know science teaches us that the droplets of water cause the light to bend because it goes through it absorbs the light and then it refracts the light, causing and breaking the white light. So you have pure white light, which is really, it's really it's a combination of all colors, but it's pure white. And the rainbow and the droplets now reflect, they break the light, they absorb it, and they refract the light, causing this beautiful display of colors in the sky. So apparently, before there was a rainbow, according to the Torah, the water didn't absorb the light. It sort of just shined on the light, on the water droplets, but it didn't actually absorb the light. There was a blockage. And spiritually speaking, the light represents God's light. The droplets represent creation, the world. So originally, there was like there was a disconnect between God and the world. God was in heaven, and the world was the world, and the world never really absorbed fully God's light. But what happens, so this is like the deeper teaching of the rainbow. What happens is the droplets now absorb the light. The world now could absorb godliness. And when that happens, we could actually symbol of the rainbow, all the beautiful colors, is the ability for God to penetrate the world. He chose to create to orchestrate his creation differently post-flood and prior to the flood. So we have this idea where, Hashem is absorbed within the world and not just deflected by the world. So that is the symbol of the flood and Noah. So as we said in last week's class, there's an expression in Yiddish, "Medaf leben mit dem Zeit." We have to live with the times. So what are the times? Not the New York Times, but the Torah portion of the week. Since we read the Torah portion, a little part every single week, that means, and the Torah is the blueprint for life, that means all human beings can look into the Torah every week and find lessons for life, for everyone. For Jewish people, for non-Jewish people, there's always wisdom. And that's some of the wisdom I want to share with you today. It's called, the Torah portion is called Teruma. And it talks about how the Jewish people, when they went out of Egypt and they were in the desert, they were commanded to build a temporary home for God. It was called the Mishkan, or a tabernacle. It was the first draft. It was the first draft of the Holy Temple, but it was a portable temple. And it had an altar, and it had an ark, and it had a menorah, a candelabra, and this is how the Jewish people would serve God. But what a lot of people don't realize, it wasn't only for Jewish people. In fact, when there was a temple, great kings of all kinds would travel to Jerusalem, and they would offer sacrifices in the temple. And the Jewish people would offer sacrifices on behalf of different kings and non-Jewish people who wished to pray to God. So a B'nai Noach, a person who was of the Sheva mitzvahs of Noach, that followed B'nai Noach, would come to the temple and would worship God. They weren't Jewish, and they would bring a sacrifice, and their sacrifice was welcome. In fact, our friends from India that joined us in the last class, one of the gentlemen just texted me today, and he says, "Rabbi, I can't wait for today rebuild the third temple. I want to go to Israel and be there in the third temple." He doesn't plan on being Jewish. He's a Noahide, right? But he says, "I want to be able to serve God in the temple, just like it was once upon a time, a place for humanity to come." So I think anyone who's spiritually inclined, if God gives us instructions how to build a home for him, as we read about in this week's Torah portion, we should be paying a lot of attention. And so that's what I want to talk about today a little bit. The commandment is, God says to Moshe, tell them, "V'asu li mikdash, v'shechanti b'soicham." And that means create a temple, and I will dwell in
Your hearts.
finish the sentence. What makes sense? I will dwell in it. No, but it says in you.
Your heart.
Very good. So does the Torah have a mistake? Of course not. So it sounds strange. Create a temple and I will dwell in you. No, well, the sentence should be create a temple and I will dwell in it. And so the sages point to this line and they say it's very telling and it's a very powerful message. And that is that yes, there is this temple that God asks us to build. But at the end of the day, every person is a walking, talking, traveling temple. God wants to rest inside every single person. Now, how do I become a temple where God can rest his presence inside of me? And the answer is to live according to the 7 laws of Noah. When a person lives their life with the values of the 7 laws of Noah, they become a mobile temple, a place where God feels comfortable. And your home is a temple as well. Your home is a place where it could be a sanctuary, where God could feel comfortable. Some people, they live lives and they have homes that God says, I feel comfortable. Let me share with you a story to illustrate my point. There was once a woman, and she said, she prayed every day, God, I would love to meet you. I would love to make dinner, have dinner with you, God. And one night she went to sleep and she had a dream. And God tells her, prepare your home. I will be visiting today and we will have dinner together. Can you imagine how excited she was? She got flowers, she cleaned the house, she started cooking. Everything was perfect. But while she was trying to prepare, there was constant annoyance. First of all, it was a knock on the door. It was a poor person who was in the neighborhood. He says, listen, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. Is it possible that you could give me something to eat? And the woman says, listen, sir, I'm really busy right now. Come back tomorrow. A few minutes later, there's another knock on the door. Someone else comes in. Yes, what is it? It's the neighbor. Can you do me a favor? And I have to run out. It's an emergency. Can I let the kids play in your backyard for just an hour? And you just keep an eye on them. So it's really an emergency. I'm sorry. I have a very important appointment. I can't help you today. Find someone else. A little while later, knock on the door. Who is it? It's another neighbor. Oh, sorry to bother you. We're trying to collect coats. Everyone has coats in their basement. You know, for homeless, we need coats. Can you run to the basement, give us something, whatever you have? Can't bother me today. I have an important visitor. Anyway, finally she gets the house all set. She lights the candles. She puts the flowers. She sets the table. She sits down. She's in her best outfit, and she's looking at the door, waiting for God to show up.
He was there all day long.
He showed up all day.
Well, listen to the story.
All these mitzvahs.
Listen to you're good. Listen to the punchline. You're right on point. And no one shows up. The candles burn down. The soup gets cold. The flowers start to wither. And she's sitting there for hours. And she goes to sleep brokenhearted. And before she goes to sleep, she prays. She says, God, you told me you were going to come and we were going to spend time. And that night she goes to sleep and she has a dream. And in her sleep, God comes to her. And she says, where were you? He says, I came 3 times, but you didn't let me in.
Wow.
It's a cute story,
It is.
It's beautiful, it's perfect.
but it's a powerful story.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
It's a powerful story. And
God is in the action.
yes, as someone said recently,
Was it 4 people?
God is in the details, someone was saying, right? God is in the action.
That's a longer term.
I am supposed to be a sanctuary for God. My home is supposed to be a sanctuary for God. If I live my life with the values and the 7 laws of Noah every single day, I live with that, I will be a place where God rests.
Are we all that way? Is that our own home?
Every single human being. Exactly. Exactly. And so the commandment, create a sanctuary and I will dwell in you, is not a mistake. On one hand, it's talking about the sanctuary, but on the other hand, you are the sanctuary. And the imagery in this week's Torah portion, it's so busy giving us very detailed instructions how to build this beautiful home for God. But when you start to read the laws, every law, every dimension, all the instructions, you can unpack so much meaning. I'll give you another example. Okay, what was the most holy item in the tabernacle. It was called the Ark. Anyone ever watched the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark? Yeah, you know, what's his name? Harrison Ford. Okay.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Right. So that's not the Ark, but that's a movie. But anyway, I'm just, the movie's about finding the Ark, right? And then everyone's face melts off, right? Okay. Which has given me nightmares because I saw that when I was a kid. But I'm working through it. If I ever have a therapist, that's probably what I'm going to work on. Anyway, let's see. Some people are writing comments. Hello from Brazil. Very nice. We have people from Brazil now. How do you see the 7 laws of Noah in travel temple that God gave to Israel? Okay, very good question. So that's exactly the line. The line is created a sanctuary, and I will dwell in you. God wants to dwell in every single person. We Jewish people don't only believe that Jewish people are connected to God, but every single person. And there's different paths to God, and a Gentile, a non-Jewish person, connects to God through the 7 laws of Noah. And I would continue that to say, for a Jewish person, we have to follow the 613 mitzvahs to be a temple for God, or at least better ourselves every single day. So it's this golden box. Inside of the box are the tablets. And there's the broken tablets. You know the story. There was the broken tablets, the new tablets, even a jar of manna was placed in there, right? We read about that 2 weeks ago. God said, place the manna inside to remind everyone. God wanted to teach a lesson. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, my wealth comes from my hard work. And it's true, you have to work hard, but it comes from God's blessing. And we learned that lesson from the manna that would fall in the desert. Right? So even if you went out and try to work extra and collect more, you only got what you were supposed to get. The rest would just rot. And it's sort of like a message to us. You know, human beings sometimes think, I'm going to be a little stingier. I'm going to not be 100% honest. I'm going to work instead of spending time with my spouse and my kids. You know, I'm going to really be successful. And like, no. Your work is a vessel for God's blessing. You'll get what's intended for you. So don't work too hard. Work very hard, but don't work too hard, and create a little space to let God in. And so the manna is like a symbol of that. God says, put it in the holy ark. I want for all generations. So apparently there's the ark. They say the ark is hidden below the Temple Mount right now. That's what they say. And apparently there's a jar of manna still there to remind us of that. But anyway, and on top of this golden box are these cherubs, these 2 angelic looking children made out of gold. They have wings, they face each other. The Medrash says that when the Jewish people got along, they faced each other, but when there was infighting in the community, they faced opposite. It was like some kind of miracle. And then God spoke to Moses and the high priest, Aaron, from between the faces of these 2 angelic children, the cherubs, the cherubim. And so this is the ark, the Ark of the Covenant.
So why do you make it gold?
Why does it? Everything has an explanation. It actually was gold on the outside, wood on the inside. It was 3 boxes. It was a golden box, a wood box, and a golden box. That's how the ark was made. And so why wasn't it just solid gold? Why do you need the wood? So everything has a teaching. One of the teachings is that a lot of times a person, they start to dig in their personality and they say, I'm just some rotted wood. You know, what's the difference between gold and wood? Gold lasts forever. Gold is always preserved. Wood starts to rot, deteriorates, right? We have some builders here. If you put wood on the floor of your backyard, come back a couple weeks later, it's all warped, the bugs get into it, it starts to fall apart. Wood's meant to disintegrate. Yeah. So a lot of times a person looks into their personality and they say, you know, I'm rotten. I know who I am. I know my demons. I know the skeletons in the closet. I know the things I'm ashamed about. I know the things I don't put on the resume. I'm rotten. So actually we're meant to be like the ark.
So we're
If you find wood, that's part of who we are, but that you didn't go deep enough. Your essence is gold. Your essence is a soul. And you want to know what you need to do? It's very simple. Your externality, your personality should reflect your true self. You should be gold on the outside, reflecting your true golden soul on the inside, which is always preserved, which is always beautiful, which is always shining. And so the ark is an analogy. While it was a physical, item, holy item, the holiest item we had in the temple, while it is that too, it's a message to how we should act, how we should be. So many people give up on becoming better because they feel they're imperfect, because they feel they made mistakes. That's the animal level of our consciousness. It's going to mess up. But that is not actually who we are. If we go deeper, every person, as we said before, we're made from the dust of the earth, but we're also made from the breath of God. And that's the golden essence that we have. And our job, like an ark, is have our outside reflect our true self. And if I dig down and I say, oh, but I'm just a rotten, no, there's wood. Dig deeper. It's okay. You just didn't dig deep enough. Dig a little deeper. And you're going to find your golden self, your true self, the part of you that lives forever. It's interesting. There were many items that the Jewish people had to make in this home for God. There was a altar. There was a bread table for like the challah bread. There were many different things. And because it was portable, there were these rings inserted, 4 of them, 2 on each side, and these giant poles that were then inserted into the rings. And then the priests would then lift it and carry it from one location to another location. And then when the Jewish people were traveling in the desert for 40 years, every time they rested, whether it was for many years, sometimes they rested, and God would lead them with the cloud of glory. And then sometimes they would rest for just a few hours, but they'd always build this home for God. So it was like wherever you go, you have a mission. It's a very powerful idea. A lot of times we find ourselves in situations and we're like, how did I get here? This wasn't my plan. I don't know, you break down on the side of the highway and you're late to a meeting and it's raining and your phone battery's dead. How did I get here? Right? Why me, God? Right? Sometimes, God forbid, a person ends up in a hospital with a loved one. How did I get here? And there's this belief that while we don't want to find ourselves in these places, if we do find ourselves in these places, God has caused us to go to a place that's very dark because there's a light that we're supposed to bring to that situation. So the Mishkan, the tabernacle, is unpacked and set up, even for a couple hours, because we got to bring some light here. So everything was portable, everything. And it was a massive operation. It required hundreds of volunteers to disassemble and build it and put it together and carry it. And the Torah in this parsha says that all the items, you would remove the carrying poles from these sockets. So, if you have for example, the ark had a ring here and a pole going through it, and also on the other side, and then it could be carried. Although you weren't supposed to carry the ark carried the priests. That was another story, but the other items were definitely carried. The Torah says it's forbidden to remove the travel poles from the ark. Not from everything else. Everything else you would remove them until you need to travel again. But it was forbidden for the ark. It was forbidden to remove the travel poles. Why? That's the strangest thing. First of all, it's the most important piece of holy furniture we had. And then why would it be forbidden?
In case they had to evacuate quickly.
In case they had to evacuate quickly. Okay, good. And you're on the way to the answer, because the answer is more symbolic, but that's important, key for what I'm about to say. I mean, think about it. Imagine you I don't know, like you have a suit, you have like a very holy, a beautiful piece of art. You want to travel and set up somewhere, but you just keep it in the suitcase. Like, why are you putting it in the suitcase? This thing doesn't need a suitcase. Get rid of the suitcase. Put it on display, right? So the answer is, as we established that the tabernacle and even the ark is a symbol of us. What's inside the ark? What was inside? The Ten Commandments. What's in our core? What's in our essence? Our soul, our values. That's who I am, who we are. A human being needs to be like an ark, portable at all times when it comes to fulfilling and carrying out our purpose of the 7 Noahide laws. We need to be always ready to get up and move. If there's someone in need, if there's someone in trouble, if there's someone suffering, we need to be able to move quickly. Portable at all times. I could be deep in prayer. I could be very involved with my family, with my business, whatever's going on. If there's an emergency, I am portable. I am ready. I'm ready to stand up. I'm ready to go to those in need. I'm ready to help those that need help. One of the interesting things about Israel is whenever there is a tragedy, a catastrophe around the world, an earthquake, a tsunami, the forest fires we had in California, Israel is one of the largest delegations and one of the first to respond. I remember in Sudan, was it 2013? There was a terrible earthquake, and Israel was from the first ones to get there because they knew a thing or two about collapsed buildings, unfortunately. Why? Where does this come from? This comes from this idea that we have to be mobile and ready to help someone in need. It needs to be ingrained in us. I love telling the story about, it's a sad story, but they tell the story of these self-righteous yeshiva students that were studying the Talmud in the synagogue one day. And a poor merchant came running in and he said, "Boys, you look young. Please, I beg you, come outside for 10 minutes. My horse and my wagon are slipping into the mud. And everything, all the merchandise is going to be lost. And if that happens, if I don't have my horse and I don't have the merchandise, I'm finished. My children will starve. Please." So the students began to convene. Are we allowed to stop the study of Torah to help someone with wagons, horses, and mud? And one brought out one book, and another brought out another book, and they debated, and this one brought a proof. And finally, after about an hour, they delineated that the right thing to do would be to go and help this poor merchant.
The horse had drowned.
And by then, the horse was gone, and the goods are gone. Thanks, but no thanks.
So why is the ark?
So the lesson of the story is, don't be like those students. Sometimes you have people, they're too righteous to have common sense. The Torah wants us to be like an ark, to be ready to get up and go and help another person, to do a good deed, to do a mitzvah. We need to be portable.
They believe in that, but they also practice it.
Yeah.
Israel has the fastest response in
Yeah.
any type of emergency.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to, I think it was less than a minute. If you have any kind of situation, you'll be taken care of in less than a minute. Whether it's an ambulance, they have.
Oh, yeah, we saw that when we went to Israel,
They have
right?
bicycles,
They had the bicycle ambulances.
They have the motorcycles, so somebody's gonna be there in the boys in less than a minute. You will be taken care of.
Right. And they also have like the right equipment on these motorcycles.
Motorcycles and
So
bicycles.
they have this life-saving equipment, like on motorbikes all around. The response rate is really, really quick.
Super, super.
Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, it reminds me of the joke of, did I tell you the joke about the airplane that was crashing in the Middle East? Yeah, so there's like Iranian airline is flying. They say, Mayday, Mayday, one of our engines just went out. Anyone, please help us. Anyone except Israel. All right. 10 minutes later, there's another explosion. Mayday, Mayday, 2 of our 4 engines are dead. We have 2 more, but it's an emergency. Where can we land? Anyone help us except Israel. Another explosion. Mayday, we have 1 engine left. Someone, please help us. Anyone except Israel. No one's answering. Finally, Mayday, Mayday, there's no engines left. We're going down. Anyone help us. Anyone help us. Even Israel. Suddenly, Shalom. This is Moshe from Ben Gurion Airport. Please, what should we do? No problem. Please repeat after me. Yiskadal v'yiskadash Shemei Rabbah. That's the mourner's Kaddish. But that's a joke. The truth is, there are countries that hate Israel, but when there's tragedy, Israel is the first one nonetheless to go and help them. And that's what they do. And that's what any good human being would do. That's what any good human being would do. Yeah.
Question, why is he buried the ark?
Why is the ark? So the ark is very holy. And that scene in the Lost Ark, what's the name of the movie? Raiders of the Lost Ark, and their faces melt off, right? So that's like from this idea that like the wrong people, Aaron's 2 sons brought a foreign sacrifice. They went into the Mishkan, and their souls left their body. They died. It's a very holy item. It's only could be around people that could handle it. There was only one person that was allowed to be in the presence of the ark in the Mishkan. That was the high priest, the holiest man on the holiest day, only one day a year, on Yom Kippur. Yeah, and in times of the Second Temple, there was a lot of corruption with who the high priest was. He used to be the right person. Then it became like a paid gig if you paid Rome. So what happened was they would tie a rope around the high priest because many times he wouldn't come out. He wasn't worthy. They have to pull him out. That's the story they say. Anyway.
But that story you said, it can apply, like, I was just thinking, I'm always on the other side. A beautiful house, and it's all manicured and all that. But in the inside, it could be rotten, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what goes in the inside. So the outside represents the gold, all the trees and well manicured, but the inside could be dark and rotten.
Yeah, that's right.
And the reason it's buried is because they borrowed that gold from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians want it back.
So they say the story that there was a lawsuit against Israel. It says in the Bible that the Jewish people took the gold from Egypt and they wanted it back. So some Jewish lawyers responded, that's fine, we'll give it back, but then we want to press charges for 210 years of Egyptian slavery for about however many millions of people. So you owe us. Anyway, there's a bunch.
Now it's probably in the British Museum anyway.
The British Museum now, right? I'm trying to see some of the questions that we have over here. We have some questions. Okay, over here it says, thank you for explaining about the tabernacle. Why priests anointed? I'm not sure. Please explain the question. Oh, right ear, right thumb, right big toe with blood. Yeah, so the Torah had a whole service that was done, which we don't have sacrifices, we don't do it anymore, but the blood of the animal is considered to be like the soul of the animal, the life force of the animal. There's a lot of Kabbalistic explanations for that. Yes, anyway. I'm trying to see how to answer these questions. I got I have like 58 comments here, it says, but I can't seem to access them. Okay.
You need to be the tablet on the left.
I don't know.
You need some double screen.
Okay. Someone wants to convert to Judaism.
Don't do it.
You don't need to.
Don't do it.
You're good.
613 reasons why.
You should follow the 7 laws of Noah and you'll be fine. Don't forget about the good card. Someone's writing. The good card is actually this cool little business card that lists the 7 laws of Noah. I personally, I don't like, the good card is good, but it's not enough. I don't like that they have these cards. I think that you need more than just a card. I think B'nai Noach is a lifestyle. There's so much wisdom. We need to learn and pray every day. Card is a good start, but yeah, we need more than a card. 59 comments. Let's see if I missed anything else. Oh, it looks like I missed a lot. Woo, sorry guys. Let's see. All right, shalom from Peru, Orlando, Florida. So there's people here and people here. I'm watching from the ski lift. Okay, all right. That'll bring you close to Hashem. I'm here in Louisiana. Where are you? So people want to know, we're in the Atlantic City area. Are you a formal rabbi? I am a formal rabbi. I have a formal congregation. But someone once came to me and said, I said, come to my synagogue. This woman said, I said, come to my synagogue. She says, no, I'm not into organized religion. I said, you should come to my synagogue. It's the most unorganized place in the world. You will love it. You would feel, yeah, we're late. Whatever. It's fun, but it's, Rabbi, I have a question if I want to do more than just the 7. So the 7 are really more like 90, but you could do more, but there's certain things you shouldn't do, like mitzvahs that are specifically Jewish, you shouldn't do.
7 is the title.
Yeah, the 7, yeah, but it breaks down to more, but like Shabbat, like the observance, not remembering Shabbos, but like not working on Shabbos is strictly a Jewish mitzvah. So
It's a constant.
yeah, if you believe in as a Noahide, you say I am happy with my path. Because we had a whole class about this, not to subtract and not to add to the Torah. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted to conclude with. Any other ideas that I had in mind? So we were talking about the ark, and we talk about being mobile. The other interesting thing about the ark is, if you look at the dimensions, it's all in 1.5 by 2.5, all by half cubits, the size. And like, so the sages ask, like, if it's such a holy thing, why does it all have half measurements? Like, why shouldn't it be like just give solid numbers, like, right? It's weird. Everything's in a half and a half and a half.
Do they measure it differently?
So the measuring is very interesting. I'll talk about that separately, but measuring is interesting of the ark. But and the sages explain that the ark represents humility. So if I want to be an ark, right, create a sanctuary and I will dwell in you. If we want God to dwell in us, we can't walk around considering ourselves complete. When we help or work with another human being, when I realize I'm a half and I'm only complete when I work with others, and that's where I find completeness, then I'm a ark that could hold the 10 Commandments. Then I'm able to hold God's presence.
That's why there's a 16th of a rainbow. It's in that hole.
Oh, there you go, half a rainbow.
Complete circle.
Right, half a rainbow.
Perfect.
There you go, it's half a rainbow.
I'll give you a bag of Skittles. I'll give you a bag of Skittles.
Where's the gold? Where's the gold? Yeah, so the other thing about the ark, and I'll finish off on this point, the Medrash says that the ark was it was one of the wonders of the world. Why? It took up space and didn't take up space at the same time. I don't remember the measurements, but let's say the Mishkan was 10 cubits, but the ark took up 2.5 cubits, right? So how much do you have on each side? 3 1/4, right? 3 1/4 on each side, right? If you have 10, let's do an easier number just for the number. Let's say you have 15 cubits and the ark took up 5 cubits, right? So you should have 5 cubits on each side, right? So the Medrash says that something miraculous happened. You would measure the ark. It wasn't 5, but it was 5 cubits, right? If you measured the room, it was 15 cubits. But if you put the ark in the room and you measured from the edge of the ark to the edge of the wall, it would be 7.5 cubits on each side. So took up space, but didn't take up space at the same time. If that messes with your mind, I guess that's what it's supposed to do. But the measurement of the ark was 2.5 cubits, not, yeah. Anyway, my friends, thanks for joining us. If anyone has a question. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions online before we finish? Let's just see. Noah's Ark is about a world on a boat. Does the Bible say that it doesn't rain before the flood? No, it didn't say that. It just says that the light didn't refract the water. The water droplets didn't reflect the light. Hey, you want to say hello to everyone?
Shalom!
Tell them why they should join our class. Make an advertisement.
Well, I'm not very good.
Not paid, not
You put me
paid.
on the spot.
He did that to me last.
You're good at it like that.
Okay.
Okay, I need practice.
You don't need, whenever you practice, it never comes out well.
Yeah,
People don't realize that. They want to practice. No, it's the raw stuff that comes out well, good on social media. Thank you for teaching. Thank you for tonight's teaching. Thank you, guys.
See you later, Randy.
Randy, thanks for coming. Randy, we missed you. We missed you.
I know.
We need you. Next time, we're all going to drive up to the Poconos.
That's exactly what you used to say.
But you know, one thing that I say is this, and I used to say it when I practicing, that we look at the laws, whether it's the 10 Commandments, 7, and when you read them, it's not that easy to commit to what's written.